Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. What a pleasure to see all of you here. It's always exciting to see old faces and new coming to join me on my psychic hour that I do monthly. So welcome. We're going to jump right in this evening. Let me just make a couple of announcements and then we'll go on with things. Please make a note, first of all, watch my cursor, that the next psychic hour down here in the lower right of my screen is going to be on March 1st, 2020. My newsletter will just barely have come out then. So since that session is so early in the month, please jump right in and make sure you get registered tonight or at least within the next day or so that you're sure to remember to be there on March 1st. Hopefully my newsletter will be another reminder, but just in case you don't get to open it in time, you'll still be able to be here with me. I also want to remind you of a couple of other things. Those of you who are VIPs, again, my cursor in the lower left corner, your next Q&A with me, that's your hour-long time with me to ask questions on any of the programs that are in the VIP section that you're studying, or that maybe you just have additional questions too because it's opening new doors for you. That Q&A is going to be on February 20th of this year. And also VIPs, please watch for a special announcement that's going to be coming up in my next newsletter. So when you get that newsletter, don't just flush it. Make sure you open it and read in my monthly specials, because I am doing something very, very special for the VIPs that's going to start in March, and you don't want to miss that. Okay, the 2020 Psychic Cruise, folks. I'm getting more excited about it because it's only a month and a half away at this point. We're getting closer, coming down to the wire. Folks, you can still register for the cruise. That's why I've still got this up here. So if you want to rub elbows with a bunch of psychics and psychic friends and come to my messages session that I really only do at the retreats and the psychic cruises. If you want to meet fellow psychics and maybe some of the people that you've been conversing with right here online, if you want to share that space with us, go to Rose Hall and go ghost hunting in Jamaica and have a beach ceremony at one of the keys. We're going to be just having a wonderful, wonderful, marvelous time on board. You can find out more about the cruise. It's on the front page of my website. That's over here, www.sandyanastasi.com. And you can't sign up there, but you can get all the information you need to be able to contact Pat Frank, the Expedia travel agent we're working with, who also happens to be one of the teachers of the Anastasi system. And she will be on the cruise with us. And so you're going to have your own travel agent there to ask questions and get a handle on everything. It's too late to be absolutely assured of a seat at the table with the private group that I'm leading, but Pat will do everything in her power to get you into that group, and that power is considerable. So if you want to be part of the group, the only way to do that is to book your reservation. It's on Royal Caribbean. We'll be traveling. Book your reservation through Pat Frank, and she's with the Tampa Expedia Travel Agency. And you can also connect with her. Her phone number is on the front page of my website, so you'll be able to find that easily. Those of you who are in my psychic development class, and I recognize names here, so some of you are, I hope you're enjoying it. I know I'm enjoying having you in that class. This is one of the most exciting classes I've been teaching in a long, long time. And I wanted to let you folks know that we are about halfway through the second level. So that first level was a lot of sessions, and we got the whole foundation for psychic development under our belts. And then we stepped into the second level, which is about energy and auras. We're just about halfway through as of this coming Wednesday. Folks, if you still want to join, it's too late to be able to qualify for a certificate unless you put in all kinds of extra time and energy and study with my assistant Lisa on the side to make sure that you can pass all the tests, etc., etc. However, I do allow people to come in and join us to take one class or all the rest of the classes at any point, because we have so many people at different levels of development. I sometimes get people who will say, you know, Sandy, I really don't want to study anything that has to do with telepathy or empathy. I just want to come in when I want to learn how to channel. So if you are one of those people, it's not too late to join just for that one or two classes, although remember, you wouldn't get a certificate, but you could certainly join us and study with us and practice with us. And to do that, you'd need to contact my assistant, Lisa Freeman, and she'll walk you through the process of getting enrolled in that class or classes that you want to take. Remember, I only teach my psychic development series once a year. It begins in January of each year. So if you've missed it this year, you can either jump on board for that couple of classes, do double duty to make up some classes if you do want to go to a certificate, or just come in and enjoy that couple of classes to study a particular thing you might be interested in with us. Otherwise, folks, to get me teaching these classes, which I only teach online, you're going to have to wait till next year. Now, that said, I do have many certified teachers. Lisa here on board with us is one of them. Pat Frank is another. I have many certified teachers who teach in person or coach at my psychic development program. So if you're interested in picking up and studying with one of them, I know Lori Baracco in Fort Myers has a class going on right now. So if you want to study in person with one of them, you can find their names on my website. Okay, so if you do want to pick up and study sometime during the year when I'm not teaching, those are the people to go to. Okay, and I think I'm ready to jump into tonight's seminar. Let me remind you, and I'm seeing so many familiar names here, so I think everybody here knows how this goes, but this is a reminder. If you have a question that you'd like to ask me and get a direct answer tonight right online, please raise your hand. And you'll see in that little box that's on the, I think it's either on the right-hand side or the underside of your screen, click the hand. And when Lisa, who's online with me this evening, sees that hand, she will know that you want to ask a question and she'll call on you. She loves to call on people that haven't had a question for a while or that are brand new. But whoever you are, if you have a question, raise your hand. Now, if you're shy and you don't want to speak to me, I don't know why you would want to do that, but if you are shy, you can also type your question into the question box, and Lisa will also be able to answer that question there herself sometimes, or she may read it out, and especially if she thinks it's a question that's significant to the entire group, she will read it out, and lo and behold, you will still get your question answered, even though you didn't get a chance to actually use your voice. And I know that that feature is particularly important because some of you who are on telephone don't have the ability to be able to access and interact with the voice. It depends on how your phone works, I guess. I know some people can and some can't. Okay, so that's how that goes. Now, once Lisa calls on you, here's what I want from you. I want your name. I don't need your last name, just your first name, and where you're calling from, because that's always so much fun to find out where people are from. We get people from all different countries here, and it's a lot of times some of those people from other countries are a little afraid of asking their questions in the middle of the night, and I'll get the questions afterwards, because for the first 24 hours until 9 p.m. tomorrow night, if I didn't call on you and you were here live with me, because you took the time to be with me, I will take the time to answer your question. It may take me a week or two this time because I have puppies that are taking a lot of my time. And Lisa knows about that, and so do a lot of you. Needless to say, if I get your question before 9 p.m. tomorrow night, I will answer it. Nice short question, though, please. Keep them short, and only if you're here live, and only if I didn't get a chance to answer your question here tonight. So I want your name, where you're from, and what you're most grateful for in your life right now. Right now. And then I want to know your sun sign, because using this chart, which is a horary chart, see my cursor going around here? These are all the transits of where the planets are right now tonight. And using this chart, I can answer questions that will help everybody who's here on the call tonight, whether you ask a question or not, to get more benefits out of your life in the moment. So I want to know your sun sign and then your specific question. So once again, your name, where you're from, what you're most grateful for, your sun sign, and then your question. Okay, 5 bits of information. And Lisa, I'm ready to begin. Hey Lisa, can I ask you before we go any further, will you please remove all of the crystals from near your computer because you're muffled again?
It's not in the computer.
Yeah, you're cutting out very badly.
Okay, well, I'm going to
I'm not sure if the people who are on the call can make out the name you just said. Okay, and
Sorry, can you unmute?
because I can't understand the name, Lisa. Whatever name it is you just said, I can't hear. So if I can't hear it, I don't know if they can. And I'm not seeing, I think, did you say Karen? Is that Karen M? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I'm looking myself for the hands. So Karen, there you go. Yeah. Nice to meet you, Karen.
Well, thank you, Sandy. I'm actually in your PD2 class now, so I'm enjoying the heck out of it. So
yeah, I thought I recognized your name sitting there, but yeah. Hey, welcome. And before we go on, were you able to understand Lisa, or was she muffled to you too? Because sometimes
she was muffled.
Okay, Lisa, while I'm speaking with Karen, look around your computer and get rid of any electronics or stuff, because your sound used to be really good and it's not. Okay. Electronics or crystals. Okay, so Karen, where are you from?
I am currently in California, and I am grateful for my good health. I'm a Gemini.
Okay. But hang on, let me catch up, because I have things to say about this.
Okay.
First off, this is kind of cool. I want to say thank you for joining us from California. That's a long way from Florida, but certainly, it's interesting. You guys are just as coastal as we are, and so the energy is very similar. I love that. This right here is the house of health in the chart. And what's interesting is that this house has got Neptune and Mercury in it. And so when you say you're most grateful for your health, I don't know if you've had health problems and just, received information of, wow, things are going really well, or if there's somebody around you that you've been thinking of who's got health issues. But one of the interesting things is that when Mercury is communication, so when it connects with health, it usually talks about receiving news or looking at x-rays or getting messages from a medical practitioner, or maybe concerns about a kid or a friend or a puppy I've got puppies in the brain. Um, but with Neptune here, it also seems to indicate that there's some, I don't want to use the word cloud, that's the wrong word, but difficulty in putting your finger on health issues. You see, that's why I said cloud. People associate cloud with dark cloud, and I don't mean that kind of cloud. I mean kind of a mist. It's a little bit hard right now to, if you do get sick, for all of us who are on the call tonight, it's a little hard to put your finger on what the cause is. It's like in the fall when I came down with what appeared to be the common cold or a flu. It wasn't. It was something like a walking pneumonia that I had for months that wouldn't go away, but wasn't contagious, which was kind of nice. Okay. So the thing is that this combination is kind of like that. It's like I don't really quite know what's wrong, but I'm glad it's getting better. Okay. Karen, can you give any feedback on that? Because that's affecting so many of us right now.
Okay. Well, my health is actually excellent, and I'm caregiving right now my father, who is end of life care, and just watching the decline just makes me so grateful.
Yeah.
And momentum to continue taking good care of myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting too. I did the same thing with my dad. And I think that what happens when we're caretaking somebody who's elderly like that, we begin to see their body systems, remember Mercury systems, begin to fail and things aren't working the way they should. But here's where Neptune comes in. You can't put your finger on it because it's so many different things as the body ages. And Neptune can also be a little bit of dementia or fogginess thrown in where he's not got the clarity of mind that he used to have. But the thing is that there's also this spirituality because these two planets are in Pisces, and that always gives this feeling of somehow seeing the energetic quality of what's going on, not just the physical quality. And when it comes to, okay, I can't put my finger on what it is, but I'm intuiting what it is, and your intuition is correct. So in taking care of your dad, you're going to find, for example, that he gives a groan and you just adjust his pillow and that was right. But it was your intuition that adjusted the pillow. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
And for all of us who are on the call this evening, for you and all the people who are close to you, because of this combination that's falling in this chart, for all of us, this means that relative to health matters for us and the people close to us, we really, really have to be working with our intuition. We've got to trust our intuition. So, if you go to the dentist with a abscess, this actually happened to me a long time ago, and the dentist says, nope, you've got a sinus problem and sends you to the sinus doctor. And you get to the sinus doctor and they take an x-ray. Nope, that's an abscess. Go back to the dentist, because your senses are so very tuned in that a lot of times you're feeling things before the doctors are actually able to even diagnose it. And now that, Karen, is going to happen with you and your dad. He's going to have things going on that you're able to see and deal with that the doctors aren't going to recognize. So trust that intuition. Okay. The other thing I wanted to share with you is timing wise, Neptune has a whole lot to do with mediumship. And since you're in the classes, if you go straight through the end of the classes, we are going to be in the mediumship part of the classes as we move into the end of April and May. And that's going to, I think, be a very important time for you because all of your senses are going to be tuned to your dad, who at that point is going to be having one foot on either side of the veil. So timing-wise, this was very, very appropriate to what you're talking about this evening. Now, also, it ties into your sun sign. Here you are, and this is your house tonight. This is Gemini, and it's on the 9th house, which is the house of travel. So it wouldn't be surprising if you were thinking about traveling. Maybe you're thinking about coming on the cruise, and then you might be looking at, this is a 90-degree angle, the health issues with your dad, and worried about leaving him without you if you wanted to do some travel. This is also the house of education, and so you're taking the classes with me and you're doing a lot of education. And opposing this is the moon in Sagittarius and the part of fortune in Sagittarius And boy, oh boy, you want to communicate and talk and meet people from other walks of life, and you want to teach. You see what I'm saying? You have so much you want to do. And where you are at right now, instead of doing all those things you want to do, you're doing a whole lot of, because this is a T square, watch my cursor, goes from here to here to here. Now, if you can see, there's the crossbar and there's the T, okay? And that T points into the 12th house, which in astrology is the unconscious. So all these things that you're dealing with the classes that I'm teaching, other classes you're taking and things you're reading, with the things that you're both teaching and learning, because you're doing both right now in extremely tremendous ways. And all of these things are really introducing you to parts of yourself, including your dad's care, parts of yourself that you really had not realized were even there. And I think the caregiving, Virgo, by the way, is the zodiac's best caregiver. And there it is on the cusp of this house. You are learning so much in giving care that you never would have believed about yourself. How about some feedback?
You're right on a lot of it. And so it's almost kind of spooky as I'm listening to you read me. I know how good you are, but I've just not had many readings in my lifetime. So, yes, I mean, when it comes down to the travel, absolutely. There's lots of things I'm thinking that I didn't expect to be here as long as I've been here. And it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's healing for myself from just, as being a child. And also a great opportunity to get to know this man as he's approaching his end of life. So, and I'm glad I'm here to support him in it.
Yeah. Glad you are too. Two little interesting points I want to make. My guides are knocking around my head and saying, tell her these two things, Sandy.
Okay.
All Geminis, and I'm sure we have a lot of Geminis on the call tonight, otherwise my guides wouldn't be saying say this. All Geminis, both men and women, have an interesting relationship with their father, because when they're really young, like prior to 3 years old, the sun rises and sets and daddy is everything in life. But at some point while they're growing older, they suffer from a rejection from father. It could be that he didn't go to your basketball game, or maybe he was sick for a while and didn't show up, or maybe he and mom divorced and you didn't see him as much. The thing is, there's something that comes up for Gemini that causes that disassociation from the parent that was, your world. And the effect on Gemini is that it makes Gemini very much a loner. Even though Geminis always have people around them and they love to talk and communicate, inside of themselves, they're very much loners. And it came from that having to pick sides with the parents, picking dad, and then dad sort of disappeared. So if you feel that way, you're not alone, because that's a Gemini thing. And so here you are at the end of life, being able to recreate that relationship with father that you had prior to 3 years old. That's like the circle coming full. You see that? Coming completely back to itself. There's a completion there, and that's for both you and he. The other thing I wanted to share, and this is for everyone on the call, it's amazing how many people can't die, especially people who have lived stressful lives, or lives where they were maybe in a war where they had to really work hard to stay alive. Those people have really learned how to live and how to hang on to life, but they don't know how to release and gently let go of life and cross over to the other side. I love Esther Hicks. She says we're alive here and then we're alive there. She doesn't call it death. She calls it another life we're living. And I agree with her. So here's the thing. As long as you are physically present, doing the caretaking, dad may not be able to leave, because he knows how to live, and you have become another person, another thing to live for. So if you feel the desire to take a trip, or to even go away and not visit with him for a day, you need to understand that's okay. And that might even be your higher self saying, he's ready to let go. And so you need to let him go so that he can leave. Does that make sense?
It does, because I thought the same thing myself.
Yeah.
So,
And remember, when those thoughts just cross your mind, that's your intuition talking. It just crosses your mind. There it is. Recognize it. Okay. Now,
I
what's your
think,
specific question?
well, because after he makes his transition, I'm going to be looking again at career path. To see if you had any suggestion,
Well, in
direction.
two things. Number one, right now, with all this caretaking you're doing, you've gotten closer to family, and you're definitely looking at career options that would allow you to work from home or close to home and family. But let's actually look at the career for Gemini. It's going to be the 10th house from here. We call this spinning the wheel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, look at that. You're thinking about going into some kind of healing field, aren't you? Gee, maybe I could work in hospice. Maybe I could be a psychic medium. Maybe I could talk to people and teach them about death and dying. And yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's not coming from nowhere. It would probably work out very well for you. Okay. And I don't know if you have a degree or any background in family counseling, but if you did, it would be, or had anything of that type of education, it would be enormously helpful to you in pursuing that as a career goal.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome.
Thank you.
And Lisa, hopefully a little less muffled. And who is our next caller?
Can you hear me better now?
A little bit.
All right, our next person is going to be Amy. Amy, you are unmuted.
Okay. Hello, Amy.
Oh, hi. I couldn't understand Lisa. Hi.
I know. She's not as muffled, but she has an echo now. But it's improving. It's improving. So I
This
would
is Amy.
give recognition to improvements. Okay, Amy, where are you from?
I'm from Pennsylvania, but I live in California. I'm in San Diego. The weather's great. I'm so happy about that. I'm happy to have my Sandy, Anastasia, and Lisa family tonight because it's just so fun. The first caller was great. God, I'm so grateful for so many things, but I love nature. I love nature. I'm out in nature all the time.
Yeah.
And that makes me really happy.
Yeah. And what's your sun sign?
I'm a Leo.
Okay. So, Amy, let's take a look at what's going on for Leo and the other fixed signs tonight. Okay. So we're going to be talking about Leo and Aquarius and Taurus and Scorpio, but mostly Leo. Here's Leo up here in the 11th house. So I don't know, Amy, if you've got some friends visiting, or if maybe you're thinking about having some friends visiting or going to see them, but this is definitely the house of getting a lot of people around you, joining groups and organizations, having lots of activities, and this would be very much in your mind and happy stuff. Also, this is the axis that deals with children. So it would not be surprising if you have your kids very warm and close to you right now, or if you're thinking about, an event or something that's coming up that's pulling them close. Lots of creativity around you right now as well. Now, let's look at the hard aspects to this. You have been dealing with the kind of the bumps and the hurdles that Uranus entering Taurus has been bringing to all the Leos, Taurians, Scorpios, and Aquarians. And life for you is becoming a little bit unpredictable. So a lot of the friends I'm talking about may just call and say, I'm in town. Can I spend the night? So there can be these kinds of surprises or events that you're planning on going to, and those don't work out, but then something else comes in to fill that spot. So there's all this up and down craziness. Now, unfortunately, this Uranus, which is causing the problem, falls into the house of finance. So it's doing that same thing with your finances. It's got your finances going up and down, up and down, up and down. And so you might be a little bit, well, where am I supposed to put my resources? What am I supposed to focus my attention on that's going to bring me the best remuneration? And it's a little bit, when somebody says, I'm going to deliver money to you on Friday, and it doesn't come for a month. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's very, very up and down and kind of a little bit scary because of that. And there's also an opposition to the sun here, which says that you and your significant other are kind of pulling in two different directions as far as how you want to handle your finances and the stuff that's in your lives. Now that again is a T-square, comes out into this house, and Amy, this says that you're supposed to be developing new ways of putting the bread on the table. What I mean by that is you've got so many talents and so many abilities and so many skills. You're hearing this fixed sign, people? You are somebody who can think on your feet. You're somebody who's had so many ideas in life, is that things you could make money with, things that you would love to do, but you always end up doing staying on the straight and narrow and doing what's expected. Well, now is going to be your opportunity to play with some of those offbeat things. It's going to be your opportunity to develop some of those skills, talents, creative things that you have always wanted to develop and turn them into things you can make money out of. You're going to be really surprising yourself before long because you're probably going to end up making some kind of a shift in your career, or perhaps someone close to you will, and you're going to end up with more money coming in than you ever had before because you made that shift, because you became flexible. So what's your specific question?
No, I love what you just said, because I am frustrated at myself because I did not renew my massage license in time. And I can still do this, and now I have to pay $180 in a late fee. So I want the magic formula of how you can cancel, clear, and delete the late fee.
Actually,
go ahead.
I don't think it's a cancel, clear, and delete the late fee. I think it's one of those things where, okay, I created this, pebble in my shoe, this irritation that's going to take a bite out of my income for a couple of weeks. But guess what? As a result, it's going to put a fire under my you-know-what, and I'm going to generate more clients, and I'm going to do better work. As a matter of fact, I might end up taking more CPUs, finding something that I really want to do to add on to my massage practice, and lo and behold, I have more money coming in than ever before. The key is take your attention. Attention is energy, Amy. Take your attention off, oh, I goofed. You didn't goof. You made another opportunity. You learned something very important. You learned to pay more attention to your finances, for one thing. Okay? That's not a negative thing. All mistakes are assets that put money into your future. You got it? No such thing as a mistake. So take your attention off of the negative and put it on the positive, okay? And very likely, within a week, you're going to have made that money up.
I love that.
Yeah, okay? And let me give you an example from my own life. Years and years and years ago, I've told this story before, but not this way. I was a safety engineer making good money. And I couldn't be the safety engineer and also be the psychic, teaching classes, running around the world, doing all the things I did, writing books. It just didn't work. Something had to go. My husband said, quit being a safety engineer. I said, we can't do that. I barely make any money as a psychic. He said, it'll take care of itself. Well, guess what? I went from having an income that was way up here to an income that was like really little. Scared the devil out of me, but I closed my eyes and put one foot in front of the other and said, I'm going to just make it happen. Guys, help. Within a year, I had closed the gap and was making the same income I had been making as a safety engineer. But get this, because I withdrew the energy out of the negative and turned it into a positive, the month that I quit safety engineering has always been the best month in of the whole year for me. And it's a month in the middle of the year. It's April. Who the heck makes a lot of money in April? Okay?
Wow.
So please remember that. There are no mistakes. There are learning experiences that make tomorrow better. Okay? And also, because Uranus is involved here, I know this for a fact. Because every single time that Uranus comes into the situation, it throws a monkey wrench in with one hand, and with the other hand, it gives you an opportunity. So maybe there's an opportunity here. For example, if you are familiar with a lot of other massage therapists, maybe there's an opportunity here to set up a reminder system for massage therapists to renew their license. It's interesting. This could take you in new areas that could generate money that don't come directly from your massage. Here's some thought.
Yeah.
Opportunities would have been created. So it's up to you to figure out what they were and follow up on them. Okay?
Great.
Yeah.
So you feel strongly, renew that license, right?
Yes, absolutely. Renew that. Yeah. Renew the license, because that license is something you can always fall back on. Okay?
Yeah.
But there's, in the meantime, there are other things, and pardon me for saying this, but you tend to get lazy. Okay? You're a good massage therapist. Your clients come to you. And so it kind of makes you lazy because, I can just do those massages. But there are other things you could be adding to the massages. There are other places you could be connecting with to do different kinds of work, to expand with. There are things you could be doing to take this practice of yours and put it on steroids. And you haven't done it because you got lazy. So maybe the silver lining here is that all of these other things you've been thinking about that you could make money at, now you're going to find ways to integrate them with your massage practice so that it can grow into what you really would want it to be.
Yep. I want to get food going. I got to get my food work going. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
Good. Hey, good luck to you.
Thank you. Great show. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And Lisa, who's next?
Well, if you can hear me, Joe.
Still a little muffled, but getting better.
Can't move anything else out of my office. Joe, it says you're self-muted. Can you unmute?
Okay, I did not hear that first name.
Joe?
Okay, we all heard that. Joe, you need to unmute yourself. I don't even see a Joe here. Are you sure? Did we hear that name right, folks? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, here you are. Unmute yourself, Joe. You just hit your question mark, but that didn't unmute you. You've got to unmute the little thing that looks like a mic. Click on it. Oh, your audio was off. That's interesting. It says you're unmuted, but it says the attendee can't be unmuted until you enter your PIN. So I don't know how that works, but maybe Lisa can give you a PIN, or maybe there's one on the website that you can put in. In the meantime, Lisa, we better call on someone else, and maybe Joe can type her question into the chat room. I think she called in on the telephone is the thing. So who's going to be next other than Joe?
DL, you're unmuted.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi there. And could you say your name for me? Because I didn't quite catch it from Lisa.
Yes, it's DL.
Yeah, okay.
Those are my initials.
Very, very cool. And nice to meet you, DL. And where are you calling from?
Sarasota.
Oh, wow. You're in my own backyard.
I am in your backyard.
Welcome. And
Thank you.
what are you most grateful for in your life right now?
My daughter.
Now I'm very surprised that you are the first one to come online and say that. And here's why. See that sun? That's all of us on this call right now. And it happens to be in the house of the child.
No.
So I thought everybody coming on would say, I'm most grateful for my kids. So
Right.
that's perfect. Okay. And what's your sun sign?
Virgo.
Okay. And this is interesting because I already told you Virgo is on this 12th house. And in astrology, the 12th house now this is a throwaway chart, so this isn't your regular chart, but tonight, this 12th house is dealing with the unconscious. It talks about your dreams. It talks about things that are going on subliminally, things that worry you or that you're afraid of or that you're toying with. And so you've got a whole lot of that inner stuff going on. Okay. And there is a T square here between your sun, sign that is, the moon over here in Sagittarius, and Neptune and Mercury over here in the normal house for Virgo, by the way, in Pisces. And that T square sends all the energy out into the ninth house where we find the sign Gemini. So you may be thinking about something you need to talk to somebody about, or you may be thinking about how you can, gee, I really didn't like that, but how can I talk about it in such a way that's diplomatic? Or you may be conversely saying, I just want to belt them. Okay. And also you're thinking very heavily about something educationally. And I don't know whether that's in the metaphysical field or something with work, but it's like, gee, if I did this, I could maybe have money coming in from this source and this source. Wouldn't that be good? And, you're also thinking about some travel you'd like to do. And very much like the first caller, although you want to do that travel, you don't want that travel to be interfering with all the things that you have going on right now. And for some reason, those things are not predictable in terms of their timing. So it's almost like you've put your desires to move forward in life into someone else's hands. So you're waiting for them to make decisions so that you can go and do what you want to do. And that's never a fun place to be. Okay. How am I doing?
Pretty good.
And
Pretty
what's
good.
your specific question? And by the way, what I just said to her folks,
Yes.
Virgos, Geminis, Pisces, and Sagittarius, you're all going through those same issues. Now, what's your specific question?
A childhood friend, and it was somebody I grew up with, as well as my best friend's brother, who happens to have lived in Fort Myers. He crossed over Friday night unexpectedly. And I was just wondering if there's any message from him, his family. He was 54.
That's sad.
So,
Yeah, that's just
yeah.
sad. Why am I hearing the name Steve?
No. His name is John.
Well, but why am I? Why am I hearing the name Steve? Did John have a Steve in his life that was important to him?
Not that I know of.
Okay, well, just put that name on the back burner because it came through as somebody who needs to know or needs to be informed. Okay.
Mm.
And
Okay.
not there, here. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, and he's not. Do you have any idea what his sun sign is?
Yes, I know for certain he's a Taurus.
Okay. So there's the sudden. Uranus always brings sudden things in.
All right.
It was unexpected for him as well. Okay. For you, I'm assuming that you guys were very close when he was younger, because here's the planet Neptune, Mercury, planet of death. And you expected to hear from him, and you will hear from him. So apparently you and he were very, very, close enough to be able to communicate easily. And you apparently do have some telepathic and probably mediumship ability. You are going to hear from him. Now, what my guides are telling me is right now, he doesn't know he's dead.
Mm.
So he's not going to be really doing a whole lot of communicating with anybody. Okay. Now, when I try to look at, of course, what happened, we have a trine between these planets and you. So there's a smooth things. He thought things in life were moving along pretty smoothly for him. It doesn't.
They were.
It doesn't look like there was any expectation of death here whatsoever.
Nope.
It also looks, see this right here, Uranus at 3 Taurus and Mars at 0 Capricorn. It looks like he just got a little bit too comfortable. And I don't know if this was a car accident or something like that, but that's what it looks like. It looks like an accident. And
No, he died in his sleep.
well, it still looks like an accident.
Okay.
Yeah. Now this could be that he took the wrong pills together, or it could be
right.
that it's an accident. And the thing is that if things are going really well, he got kind of cocky. Okay. So the way I don't like to use this, died by his own hand, because this isn't a suicide, but
No.
he was complicit in his death. Either it was a combination of things he took, or it was that he had health issues earlier in the day that he just and didn't pay attention to. The thing is that there's nobody responsible for this death except himself. And here's the key: he doesn't have a clue. He just doesn't know he's dead yet. Okay. There are ways of handling that, and I'm just going to share this with you. We call it soul retrieval. Now, he's not in any bad place or anything like that. He's just, he hasn't woken up yet. He hasn't woken up to the realization that he's on the other side. And when somebody's in that kind of situation, if you pray, that's the best term I can use, pray not just to God, but pray to him and recall all the good things that you remember about your time with him. And that'll catch his attention, okay? Because thought is an energy. That'll catch his attention and it will wake him up. And he'll say, what the? And then he'll be able to get help from those people on the other side that can help him. And here I'm hearing Steve again. So I thought Steve was here. Steve is on the other side too. So Steve might be the person who's going to help him to wake up. But right now he's asleep. Doesn't have a clue. Okay.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. And did he feel anything when he died? Obviously not. He doesn't know he's dead. Okay. Now, as far as his family is concerned, it's interesting because I think that he had a powerful connection to the family, his birth family, a powerful connection, but either he didn't have kids or he was not as close to them as maybe people thought he was. Okay. As far as his life partner is concerned, if he's married or was living with somebody, that person's in a very, very bad place right now. And if you have any, I actually feel more concern for his partner than I feel for him. Okay. He's fine. The partner is really, really, really like in a state of shock, zombie, but also angry. And if again, I don't want to put this on you because it's not really your responsibility. But if I were counseling, his spouse, I would be telling them that the most important thing right now is to surround, and they're retreating from the world, they're hiding. The most important thing is to be able to reach out, have somebody that you can talk to. It's too soon to join a group or to get counseling. It's too soon for that stuff. This person's in shock. But to have one person who can just sit with you and hold your hand and listen to you scream, that's where she's at. And and I don't know if you can be that person, but if you know someone close to his partner that would be willing to do that, this isn't a counsel thing. This is be there and hold the hand thing, and give her somebody to scream at, because that's what she needs right now. Doesn't that sound cool? But it's a hard place to be. So that was your question?
That was my question.
Yeah. I wish I could have given you more information from him. I can only tell you that he didn't hurt, and that it was really sudden, and it was a shock, or will be when he wakes up. And and he also he was a mover and a shaker, a very active personality. So once he does wake up, you can expect him to be very in your head, and again probably in his spouse's head too, because he's not somebody who's going to keep quiet. He never was.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Lisa, who's next?
Let's try Joe again. Joe, you're unmuted.
Hello.
Hey, Joe, we can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm Aquarius. I am from South America, from Colombia. I live in San Pete, and I am grateful to connect with you tonight. My name is...
That's not a grateful thing. What are you really grateful for?
The food, to be able to eat everything that I want.
Yes. Oh, I relate to that. I only wish. That's great. Okay,
My
well,
name is actually Joanna.
okay, Joanna, we see you down here in that fifth house. So somehow you're experiencing like a second childhood right now. You're getting, I don't know if this is just this love affair with life that you're having, but there's this feeling of I'm getting to revisit my childhood. I'm getting to do things I haven't done in years and years and years. This is a happy time. You might also be having some reunions with people. Your creativity is off the charts. Your intuition is off the charts right now. This should be a good time for you. The only thing that really could be a kind of a monkey wrench in things is this darn little Uranus over here keeps, every time you think things are going one direction, Uranus has got you going a different direction. So there's this unpredictability that's going on in your life right now that you just really don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So what's your specific question?
I'm a contractor now, and I'd like to know if they are gonna convert me as a full time. If yes, when? If not, why?
Okay, I'm not seeing you going full time in what you're doing right now. Okay, and this is interesting. Is it possible? I don't know if when you said you can eat anything you want, have you been on a diet? Have you been
Uh,
some? Because the reason I'm asking is it seems to have something to do with food. When you say why not, and so I'm wondering what on earth could food have to do with them not putting the contract on to full time? Can you make sense out of that?
no, I don't see the relationship.
Unless perhaps that's why I was asking if you were really eating very little or maybe not eating enough or adequately. Maybe your personality was shifting during that time. Okay, it just feels like this isn't something to do with the food is the reason why that contract's not going to full time. So it had to have affected you in some way. Now, will you ever be full time in this field that you're in? And I'm getting a yes.
No.
I get a yes, you will. Yeah, you will, but not in the timely fashion that you're expecting it to be.
Oh, so when do you see that happening?
Okay. I get a 2, which means it would either be 2 months from now or next February, like a year from now, or 2 years.
Oh, so when you said at the beginning no, you were answering like no right now, not right now.
Yeah, see, because it feels like it's not going to be it's like something's different. I don't think it's the company you're with. I think the field is the same, and I think you will be full time, but I don't think it's with the same company.
Oh, so you see me like changing to another company?
Not right now. Again, 2. Okay. So it feels like you're going to stay where you are. And then in 2, it could be 2 months, 2 years, next February, it's a 2. You're going to move someplace else and get that full time. But
So they don't want me full time right now. They changed their mind.
no, they haven't changed their mind. Is it?
Oh,
And I think the thing is that, well, will you ever be full time with this company you're with right now? My guides keep saying no. I hope and I pray that I'm misinterpreting. That's always possible. But what I'm getting is a no. And yet I do get you full time in this field, but it feels like it's with a different company.
or maybe a different place, same company? No.
Now that is also a possibility. It could be same company but a different place. That's possible.
Mm,
Especially if you're one of those people who's willing to travel or to transfer. Okay?
yeah.
And
Wow.
and obviously there'd be more money attached to it. I think it would be if you did make that move, it would be a good move. But I'm not going to rule out the other one either. I see 2 options. Either it will be at a different location than you're at right now, or it will be a different company if you choose to stay where you're at. But that's how you'd get the full-time work. And again,
Mhm.
it ties right in with the Uranus because Uranus doesn't do anything in a straight line. If you want to go from A to Z and you're getting a Uranus transit, which you are, and will continue to get for another 6 years. For you, the straight lines look like that. Okay? There's nothing straight in your life right now. Okay? Except maybe
So Uranus is gonna stay there until when?
another 6 years.
Man, the whole life has been like that.
Right. So guess what? You're going to get tremendous opportunities because you're going to learn to be flexible and look for them and recognize them and accept them. And you're going to,
I see.
sometimes you have to go over to here in order to get over there. But if it works, who's to say it's wrong, you know? So look at the opportunity,
Yeah.
know what you want, set the goal, but recognize that the opportunities may not lead directly to that goal. You may have to do a little sidestepping along the way. Okay?
So you see more money anyways, right?
I do see you full time in your profession at some point in the future, and it's going to be within 2.
Mm-hmm.
But whether it's with this company at a different location or with a whole different company, I can't tell you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I can say good luck to you.
Thank you, Sandy.
You're very welcome. And Lisa, I think this is going to be my last caller coming up. Who do we have?
Okay, the lucky last person, Sharon, you're unmuted.
Yay! Hi, this is Sharon.
Nice to meet you. So,
Sandy, you know me. You've been on my radio show.
oh, it's you. Okay. I'm sorry. I am having difficulty with Lisa's microphone this evening. So I thought I didn't catch your name. Yes, I've been on your radio show, and I'm so glad you called in.
Thank you. And you're going to come on again in 2 weeks, not a week from Thursday.
Yes, I'm excited. It's going to be fun. So, folks, put that on your calendar. And Sharon, since I'm going to be on your show in 2 weeks, can you give everybody the call numbers for it so that they can actually go online and find you?
Yeah, I'll look that up right now. You think I'd have it memorized?
Yeah, and I can put it right here on this, but my brain is kind of on puppies.
Because it's another opportunity for everybody to call in and ask Sandy a question. The call-in number is 888-627-6008. Again, 888-627-6008.
Thank you. And Lisa maybe can write that into the question box so people can read
Yeah,
it.
the last Thursday of the month, Sandy's going to be on, and it's at 7 p.m. on Eastern Time, 4 p.m. California time.
This is cool. It's going to be so much fun.
Yes, it was last time too.
So tell everybody, Sharon, and I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Tell everybody where you're from and what you're most grateful for.
Notes down here. Okay, I'm in Kingsport, Tennessee, and I'm actually right now I'm most grateful for my clients and being able to help people, and I am a Libra.
And you're going to be on the Psychic Cruise with us in April.
I'm really looking forward to that. In fact, 2 more people that I've told them about you wanted to join, just called Pat this past week, and you guys, you're all out of slots, and now it's $800 a person to go instead of the nice discount that you were offering.
Tell them to talk to.
They called Pat.
Yeah, tell them to talk to Pat because Royal, and this is for everybody here, Royal Caribbean always, I mean, periodically they have these buy one, get another one half price deals, which really cut your price, but then you're not booking through the group that I'm with, okay? So they're going to try to sting everybody in order to get more money because that's what big companies do. They had a cutoff date of January 29th to ensure you're part of my group and get that better price. So now they're going to charge you full price for the whole cruise unless you go in on one of the Royal Caribbean discounts, which Pat won't want you to do because she's a travel agent who has to deal with them. The thing is that I can guarantee you that, you can still get to Rose Hall because that's a Royal Caribbean tour. You might not be on my bus, but you're still going to get there and you're still going to be able to meet with me afterwards on it because I'm in control of that. And you're still going to know where I am on the ship so we can get together and chat because I'm in charge of that. And you're still going to get to come to my messages session if you choose to because you get my point? The only things
Right.
we can't guarantee are the things that the ship has direct control over, and there's only a couple of those. So ask those people to, get on the phone with Pat and actually talk to her, not just through email. It's far easier to have a telephone call on those things.
Maybe I'll call on their behalf. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, probably would. Yeah, and that's, I only wish that they had called in early. That's why I kept trying. The cruises are just so odd because I'm like you. I'm like, okay, let's tell everybody about this within a month or two before, because who wants to make plans a year ahead? I'm not sure if I'm going to be on the planet a year from now. Do I want to book a cruise a year from now? But that, they want their groups to come in early. So,
Right, but these two people had just called me for a reading about a week and a half ago, and I said in my reading, you guys would really benefit from being on Sandy's cruise. Here's the information. So
hopefully they'll be able to work it out. And I have had people in the past who came in separately, and they just didn't participate in the things that Royal Caribbean put together, but all the other stuff they did participate in. So, at any rate, let them talk to Pat, because they'll tell them what they can do. Yeah.
okay. Anyways, my question's on behalf of my niece.
Yeah.
She's a January 11th, 1981 baby.
Okay, so she's a Capricorn.
She's a Capricorn.
Right.
And for the second, she got married incredibly young, and then got divorced after a few years. And now it's been like 15 or 16 years later, she finally fell in love again, absolutely head over heels. They were planning their future and everything, and he died unexpectedly 3 days ago.
Yeah, that's a theme tonight, isn't it? Let me just tell you, and Sharona, this isn't because I just want to show you where this is in the chart. Here she is, she's a Capricorn. Look at that. Mars is right there on the foundation of this chart, along with South Node, Jupiter, Pluto, which rules death, Saturn, which rules limitation. And here we have that same trine we had with our other caller that's into Uranus in Taurus in the 8th house, house of death. Uranus is in the house of death in this chart. So, I kind of could have predicted that there were going to be some questions about death. But Uranus Mars always talks about a sudden loss, a sudden death. Even, I've got to tell you this, though. The likelihood is, even if he hadn't died suddenly, this relationship, which formed with such fabulous intensity and was a friendship and hit them on all levels, probably would only have lasted for 2 years before life took them in separate directions again. It would have been a wonderful relationship, and it would have ended with the same magic that it started with. It wouldn't have been a hardship, but it wasn't meant to be a permanent relationship. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can tell her that, because I don't know that that's going to make her feel better. Okay. I think the best thing to tell her would be to, sometimes you've got to be grateful that you had that relationship at all. How beautiful to have met that soul, had that connection, had that wondrous relationship. And you see, for her, and this was the purpose, the guy was a soulmate, and this is the purpose of the relationship, not to be together forever, but to open her back up so that she can now have a future relationship, because she was shut down so badly that, look at this. This is the person who had been burned and wasn't going to reach out. You see?
So my concern for her, I said something along those same lines via Facebook, because that's the only way she's communicating right now. She won't answer the phone, won't, nothing. And my concern is she okay? Would it be in my best, or her best interest, I should say, not mine, because it would be disruptor for me. But should I fly out there to assist, or are my prayers and daily messages on Facebook that you're in my prayers enough?
Yeah, I think that if you had, you can't just fly. This is tricky. If you were to just fly out there and say, "Here I am, I came to hold your hand," she's going to feel like you're trying to control her life, and she's not going to be welcoming. But if you were out there because you were on somebody else's radio show, or you had a business interview you were doing, wow, how appropriate is this? I'm only here for the weekend. I have this thing I have to do. I would love to get together and maybe just chat. What do you think?
Okay.
Then she'd be receptive to it. But it's got to be real. So who do you know out there that you can call and say, I need to be on your show?
Let me think, because the two people that always sponsored me, both of them have now passed away in the past 6 months. So it's an interesting time where there's a lot of death.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, and I have my own philosophy about that. We're in changing times, number one. Number two, there are a whole lot of souls that don't want to be on the planet during these changing times. They want to live in gentler times. So that's one reason a lot of people are passing. But there's another thing going on here too. And this is certainly the case with both of the people who have passed that were being talked about on this evening's session. When there is a really strong love between two people and one passes, and there's not a holding on, there's just a joy in having known each other. So there's a bond of love, but not an attachment. You see? There's not holding on. There's just love. I'm so glad I had you when I had you. That bond is enough to help to uplift everybody around the people on the physical plane. So we have a lot of people who are dying and going into spirit right now, so that, especially people who are well loved, who have fabulous connections to other people, because they're able to help uplift the energy of the planet. And we need all the help we can get right now. So, and I think both of these people who've passed fall into that category tonight, especially when there are sudden passings. But neither one of them needed to be here right now. They need to be there. They've got work to do. And that might, I don't think that would help the spouse of the person we were talking about earlier, but I do think that information would help this person.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And when
Thank
I
you.
ask if you're going to be okay, I get a yes. And I see a friend. I don't know if that friend is you, but I see a friend that's going to give her the support that she needs, that's going to help to lift her to a whole new level. But this is going to be for her opening, ultimately, not closing. It's going to get her to reach out of herself and realize that she's got so many people around her who love her.
Yeah, she really does. And right now, I think she's just trying to deal with it and closing herself off. But I'm hoping that doesn't last.
Well, that's why I said if you do go, it's got to be. It can't be that she's the destination. It has to be you're out there for another reason, but you wouldn't dream of being out there without also stopping by and spending time with her. And even adding a couple of days onto your trip just for her. You see that kind of thing? So
Right.
find a good excuse. That would be very helpful.
Okay. I can find excuses.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I keep you posted on all that good stuff, and I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Sandy.
Good night. And on that note, I think that I'm going to say good night to everybody. Those of you who've been on the call and didn't have a chance to ask a question, please send your question to either me or Lisa. You'll find my email right here on this site, or Lisa, SAInc at AOL.com. And it'll probably take me a week or so to get back to all the questions, but keep them simple, and I definitely get back to them. And remember, you have to have been here for me to answer that question. You spend the time with me, and I spend the time with you. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll be back next month, and early in the month, remember, March 1st. Good night, everybody.